Science is the study of matter and energy, and that which influences its behavior, a concept based on theoretical principles that are set to govern time, space, and matter. The genesis, or the beginning of life, according to the science community, is known as the Big Bang Theory. And what the Big Bang Theory implies is that ever since matter was born, it is moving in time for that very instant. Basically, that matter and time were born simultaneously, and its movement created space. But something didn't add up. If matter was born before space, then when was matter born? Even today, there's a question being investigated by scientists trying to determine the approximate birth date of the Big Bang. And if matter was born before space, then where was matter born if it wasn't occupying any space? And since time and matter are codependent with space, space needs time to expand, and matter can't exist without occupying space, then that riddle right there leaves scientists to the question of what existed before time, space, and matter. This is where my comparison between science and religion began. And as I began to read the Bible, once to understand its context, and again to understand the hidden language and semantics inside of the Bible, I realized that science is actually an extension of the Bible. And I'm pretty sure most of you are dying to find out how I drew that conclusion. Well, let's compare the basis of science, which evolves around time, space, and matter, with the very first chapter of the Holy Bible. Genesis chapter 1 verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. First, understand that semantics will play a big part in understanding the correlation between religion and science because of the evolution of language itself. In the beginning, which is time, God created the heavens, which is space, and the earth, which is matter. This beginning makes more sense to me because time had to exist before space so that space can use time to expand, because space expands with time according to science. And space had to exist before matter so that matter can have something to occupy, because as science also teaches us, matter occupies space. Conclusively, both naturalism and creationism point out the idea that the beginning was the materialization of a force too complex to understand. But where science fails to explain what came before time, space, and matter, the Bible doesn't. To understand how God would exist before time, space, and matter, you have to understand that time, space, and matter is not an all-inclusive governing principle, but instead a principle that governs the dimension that we as human beings live in. Example, an engineer is not limited by the principles that govern his design, like an app developer is not restricted by the principles that govern the app that he has developed. So to say then who created God would be to imply that the creator is somehow limited or governed by the same principles that he drafted for his creation. But in the same manner that a computer doesn't represent either the limits or limitlessness of its creator, then why should God? Conclusively, being that science is an extension of the Holy Bible, I'm going to answer one of the oldest questions being posed by scientists. Then what came before time, space, and matter? And the answer is Revelation chapter 1 verse 8. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, who is, was, and who will come. That is God. But science, because they've deterred from God, they've renamed him. And his name today is known as evolution. Because if you think about it, even the particles that made up the movements within the Big Bang were bound by the laws of evolution.